Hello everybody. Now I am going to answer the GATE 2023 economics questions from 27 onwards. This video will cover questions from 27 to 44, which is of 1 marks each. So please don't forget to like it and subscribe it. I am sure you will like it because I will tell you the shortest method of solving the questions. Since it is for only 1 point, I don't think that it makes sense to spend a lot of time on these questions. So let's start with question number 27. An individual is endowed with income of rupees 142 and has the utility function u x1 x2 is equal to x2 times x1 plus 1, where x1 is greater than or equal to 0 and x2 is greater than and equal to 0. The unit price of x1 is rupees 2 and the unit price of x2 is rupees 3. The utility maximizing bundle is, so here it asks for utility maximizing bundle, and since there is a constant of rupees 142 which must be spent, so you don't have to go for Lagrangian. I am telling you the shortest way. It is only complete in just 4 of these sentences. So let's start from here. And so what you have to do, the technique is that I am telling you don't have to go to Lagrangian, that is very long. So all you have to do that apply the second rule of law of equimarginal utility, and it is MUX by PX is equal to MUY by PY. So apply this rule which is MUX, this MUX divided by Px is equal to MUY divided by Py. And once you have done this, you will be able to fix it in the budget constant and you can solve it. So here how I have solved it. So MUX is equal to what? So du dx1. So du dx1 is equal to just x2, because it is x1 times x2, so x2 is left, and du dx2 is equal to x1 plus 1. So hence x2 by 2, which is the MUX by PX, PX is here, PX1 is 2, so x2 by 2 is equal to x1 plus 1 by 3, and then it is just algebra. So 2 x1 plus 2, I just did the cross multiplication because it is 2 here. So 2x1 plus 2 is equal to 3x2, or x2 is equal to 2x1 plus 2 divided by 3. So budget constant is 142. So you do it 142 minus p1x1 minus p2x2 is equal to 0. So this one is 142 minus 2x1 minus this x2. x2 in terms of x1 is 2x1 plus 2 divided by 3. So 3 times, because p2 is 3, so 3 times 2 times x1 plus 2 divided by 3. So this 3 and this 3 will be cancelled. So all we are left is 142 minus 4x1 minus 2 is equal to 0, or x1 is equal to 140 divided by 4, which is equal to 35. So once you have got x1 is equal to 35, actually this is x1, then what will be x2? So we know that x2 is equal to, we just put this value, so x2 is equal to 2 times 35 plus 1 divided by 3, which is equal to 24. So your answer is C. x1 is equal to 35 and x2 is equal to 24. I hope you could understand it easily. There is no need of lengthy process of using Lagrangian and then maximizing. That will take a lot of your time. So I will teach you the shortest method of solving questions. Now question number 28. The IMF began operations in the year. Here, the trick is began operations. It is not that when IMF was founded. So IMF was founded after Second World War in 1945. But then the day it is found, it doesn't start working. Any organization, the organization is founded, and then it takes about 1 or 2 years for a big organization like IMF, which required a lot of international agreements and the mechanism. And those days it was this technology was not so advanced, so it took more than a year. And IMF was actually started on March 1st, 1947. It actually started working, okay, began operations. So though it was founded in December 1945, it was just founded, okay, founded in December 1945, but actually on started working on 1st March 1947. So the answer is B. Okay, I should write it 1st March. Here it is 1st March. Okay. Now next question is, it is this one, question number 29. According to Working Group on Money Supply, Analytics and Methodology of Compilation 1998, constituted by the RBI, which of the following is not a component of new monetary aggregate in M1? So it is M1, narrow money. So narrow money consists currency with the public, that's fine. Second is demand deposit with the banking system, yes. This one also is the part of a highly liquid money, so it is part of M1. And short-term time deposits of residents. No, actually it is part of M3, because MT is short-term deposits with post office, and this one is short-term time deposits. Time deposits are fixed. They are for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. So these are called time deposits because their time is fixed. And demand deposits, they don't have any fixed time. They can be withdrawn anytime. That you all know. And then other deposits with the RBI. Yeah, this is the high-powered money. So actually, all the banks that have here money that is highly liquid, so this one is high-powered money. So that's why it is part of M1. So only short-term time deposits of residents are not part of M1. So answer is C. Next question is, stagflation is a situation when, well, it is a definition of stagflation means stagnation and inflation. So stagnation means both unemployment and inflation are high. So that is, we have got the worst of both the worlds in stagflation. While in inflation, we have low unemployment. So only B is the correct answer. Both unemployment and inflation are low. Definitely not, because it is the best of both the worlds. We have worst of both the worlds. So both unemployment and inflation are high. And rest of the options useless, because this unemployment is high but inflation is low. It is the normal Phillips curve. And then unemployment is low but inflation is high. This one is also normal Phillips curve. So in a stagflation, we have both unemployment and inflation, high unemployment and high inflation. I hope most of you did it correct, or all of you probably. Now here is the question number 31. It says, consider the Keynesian consumption function C is equal to A plus beta Y, where C is the aggregate consumption, Y is the aggregate income, alpha is the constant A greater than 0, that is the minimum consumption even if we have to eat to survive without income, and beta is the marginal propensity to consume, which is always less than 1. Then the average propensity to consume is, so average propensity to consume is just C divided by Y. So divide this by Y. C is equal to alpha plus beta Y. So if we divide it by, we get alpha by Y, and plus beta. So B is the correct answer. It is just conceptual question, not at all time taking. So we move forward. Question number 32. An analyst regressed y on x1 and x2. Okay, so x1 and x2 are actually independent variables while y is dependent variables. If she later noticed that x1 is equal to 5x2, oh, means they are highly correlated, completely correlated. Means when x2 is equal to 1, x1 is equal to 5, when x2 is equal to 2, x1 is equal to 10. So that way they are perfectly correlated. R is equal to 1. So the question is then which of the following assumptions of the classical linear regression model are violated? So homoscedasticity, well, this is not a violation. That is what classical regression wants. So homoscedasticity is not violated here because it doesn't talk about variance. No perfect multi-collinearity. So here it is actually perfect collinearity. Between x1 and x2, the slope is 0.2 and r is equal to 1. So actually it is perfect multi-collinearity. So this one is violated. Means the assumption is no perfect multi-collinearity, but actually here it is perfect multi-collinearity. So B is violated. No autocorrelation. No autocorrelation happens in time series, and it is not x1 and x2 are not given if the time series data or cross section data. And then linearity in parameters. These parameters are linear. Means we will have y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2. So this part is also not violated. Only this perfect multi-collinearity is there. So this assumption B is violated. Now we go to next question. So whenever independent variables are correlated, means x1 and x2, then this multi-collinearity problem comes. And the problem of multi-collinearity is that the variances are very high, so our t-test fails. F-test doesn't fail, only t-test fails. Okay. Next question is, which of the following is not an example of non-tariff barriers? Non-tariff barriers and not an example means it is an example of tariff barrier. So, voluntary export restraint, it is of course non-tariff barrier because the country itself doesn't export. So, there are no tariff. The importing country doesn't impose tariff. Only the exporting country restrains that we will not export more than this. Then B is a procurement law directing a government to buy domestically made products. Again, this is the government is not importing the cheaper goods unless comparable foreign made products are substantially cheaper. So even though foreign made products are not substantially but slightly cheaper, but the government is required by law to buy domestically. So this is also, there is no tariff involved here, hence it is a non-tariff barrier. And then imposition of sanitary and phytosanitary measures on agricultural produce. Here also there is no tariff involved, so this one is a non-tariff barrier. And then D is an anti-dumping law. Yes, here to stop anti-dumping, the government imposes high tariff, hence it is a tariff barrier. So it asks which is not a non-tariff barrier, means which is the tariff barrier. So D is the correct answer. Now I go to next question, number 34. It says, among the following, who first proposed that internal government debt doesn't create a burden for the future generation? Yes. So this is just a knowledge of knowing the correct economist. It doesn't require any conceptual knowledge. Conceptual knowledge is that, well, government debt is not actually a burden for the future generation. So, N. Gregory Manking, he is New Keynesian, much later in 1980, so he cannot be the answer. Martin Feldstein, no, he never talked about that. Harvey S. Rosen also didn't talk about government debt. It was A.P. Lerner, A.C. Pigou, who talked about that government debt is not actually a burden for the future generation, and that was in 1930s, before Keynes came. Though Keynes took their idea and he said that, well, If government debt is creating employment, then it is creating growth and hence it is not a burden. I hope you got it. So it was in 1930 that A.P. Lerner was a very good economist and he wrote about government debt. Next question is, which of the following is an example of direct tax? Oh, come on, it is very simple question. You all must be knowing. Sales tax, it is not direct tax because it is hidden in price. Whenever you buy a good, you have to pay it. Custom duty, also it is hidden in price of the good when you buy it. So it is not direct tax, it is indirect tax. Individual income tax, yeah, this one is direct tax because you know that you are paying. So the tax is imposed on you and you pay it also. Excise tax is also indirect tax because it is hidden in the price. So answer is C. Question number 36. In the context of endogenous growth theory, Nobel laureate Paul Romer emphasized that ideas are non-rival is the correct answer because he said that in endogenous growth theory, it is the ideas which is research and development of a company. So when an idea is imposed, is produced or it is applied in the production, it increases the marginal productivity of labor and capital. So of course the marginal productivity of capital doesn't fall because of this new idea, a new way of producing. And this new way of producing is non-rival because when one company uses, it doesn't end. The other company can also use it. It is just an idea. Maybe even 1,000 companies can use, such as showing these answers on YouTube is an idea. Whether I show it and whether one of you see or thousands of you see, it doesn't get reduced. So that's why it is non-rival. So ideas are non-rival and he got the Nobel Prize on that only. Means Paul Romer got Nobel Prize on this, on the theory of endogenous growth. So A is the correct answer. B rival, no. C rival, D is all rival. So all are wrong because ideas are non-rival. Once you get a wisdom, like the simplest example that he gave was that okay, whenever we have this dysentery, then we actually start losing water from our body. So we just apply sugar, some salt, and water and drink it. So that is oral therapy, and our dysentery is cured after 3 4 drinks, and we don't lose water. So this idea, whether one person uses it or thousands of people use it, the idea remains intact. So it is pure public good. Now, why it was not pure public good? Because it was non-exclusive. It was actually exclusive. The company which developed it retains its right, but its nature is non-rival. Now, in the Human Development Index, the longevity is measured by, I think you all know this, that is life expectancy at birth. That is what longevity is measured by. So D is the correct answer, but child survival rate, infant mortality rate, which is not actually longevity. And healthy life expectancy, it is meant to confuse you. Life expectancy is only life expectancy, means how long we can live, whether we are healthy or we are unhealthy. If we are living for 100 years as being unhealthy, then our life expectancy is 100. And even if we are healthy and die of heart attack at the age of 50, our life expectancy is only 50. So this one is to confuse you. Disability adjusted life years, this one is also to confuse you. Only life expectancy at birth is a part of Human Development Index because the longevity is measured by only this way. Longevity, how long we can live, and it is life expectancy at birth. Now, question number 38, it says, which of the following statements is correct about the 14th Finance Commission? Oh, okay, it is 14th Finance Commission. The commission was chaired by Dr. C. Rangarajan. No, this is not correct. It was chaired by Dr. Y.V. Reddy, Y. Venugopal Reddy. Then the commission recommended achieving 90% metering of electricity by the end of year 2012. Well, Finance Commission doesn't do this electricity metering. It is done by Electricity Commission or Power Commission, something like that. So B is definitely not the work of a finance commission. And C, the commission recommended an increase in the share of tax devolution to states to 42% of the divisible pool. So that is what the work of finance commission is. It is meant for center-state financial relations and how much tax collected be returned to the states as per law. Because when finance commission recommends, it is a constitutional body and basically it has the legal status. Even though parliament doesn't pass it, but if the government accepts it, then government is actually bound to follow its recommendations. So actually YV Reddy had recommended that this share of states be increased to 42% of the divisible pool. Then the commission was mandated to make recommendations for the period 2010-15. No, since this 14th commission was founded in 2015, so this one is not correct. It cannot make recommendation for backdated period. All it will make recommendation that will be implemented only after it. So D is also not the correct answer. Only C is the correct answer. Your next question is 39. Many scholars consider the study conducted by Dandekar and Rath in the 1960s as the first systematic assessment of poverty in independent India. So it was the first systematic study and it was done in 1960. So that is the part, first systematic experiment. Which option from the following is not correct about the study? Okay, so let's study. The study used the data on monthly per capita consumption expenditure. Yes, this was the first time that Dandekar and Rath committee recommended that expenditure leads to poverty reduction, not that income. If people earn and they don't spend or they don't consume, then they remain poor. They become sick and they remain poor. So that way, it took the per capita consumption expenditure round of the national sample survey. So this part is A is correct. B, the study used the identical calorie norm for rural and urban areas. Yes, the study said that, well, everybody should earn 2,250 calories a day. So whatever food it gets, if they don't get the calorie of 2250 every day, then actually they are poor. And then the poverty head count ratio estimated by the study was higher for rural areas than for rural areas. It is very obvious that poverty in rural areas would be higher. So that was fine. So this one is also correct. And then the study used the same poverty line for all states. No, states vary in income. Some states are very rich and some states are quite poor. Like Bihar is one of the poorest states at that time. Even now it is poor. And Punjab used to be quite rich state. Right now, Kerala, Maharashtra, Gujarat, these are richer states. So the study did not use the same poverty line for all states. So answer D is the correct. Question number 40 is, which of the following statements are correct? Means there can be more than one statements correct. So let's see, are correct about the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Very good. Our PM is doing a lot of good things. So it has been a flagship scheme of Ministry of Education. No, actually it is a skill development. Education is education. Studying in schools, colleges. Skill development, a separate ministry has been formed. And it is Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So A is not correct. Then it was launched in the year 2010. Definitely not, because Modi ji won election in 2014. So only after that it was launched. So it was launched in 2015 for this project to make India successful. Now, see, The National Skill Development Corporation has been responsible for its implementation. Yeah, this is correct. This company, National Skill Development Corporation, was founded under this Ministry of Skill and Development Entrepreneurship. So C is correct. And D, one of the objectives of PMKVY has been to enable a large number of Indian youth to take up industry relevant skill training. Yes, so it is not related to education, it is just technical training, industry related training. So that's why it is not part of Ministry of Education, who is responsible for schooling and colleges, but it is the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship that provides money for industry relevant skill training. So C and D are correct answers. Now question 41. Which of the following is are used for testing the assumption of normality? Oh, it is econometrics question. So in the normality, actually this Shapiro-Wilk test is used. And how is normality tested? Skewness is 0, means third moment that measures skewness, that will be 0. And what? The fourth kurtosis, that will be 3. So Shapiro-Wilk test tests that. Bruce-Godfrey test, it is for autocorrelation, so it is not for normality. Jacques-Bera test is also for normality, and Park test is for heteroscedasticity. So A and C are the correct answers. You just needed to remember it, actually. Not that you can, it is a conceptual thing, you just need to remember it that, okay, these are the tests for normality. Well, now next question is, suppose Amar borrows rupees 1000 from Ujala. After 1 year, Ujala wants rupees 1100 back from Amar. So Ujala wants 100 rupees more on 1000. The yield to maturity in percentage on this borrowing is, of course, 10. It is equal to 100 rupees on 1000. So this is equal to 100 divided by 1000 and times 100. So that way we will get this. So times 100. So because we are calculating percentage, no? So this will give us actually 10. So this becomes 100 divided by 10, which is equal to 10. You have to see that what is the base. So base here is 1000, not 1100. So many people make mistakes on that. They use the wrong base. So if you use the wrong base, it will become 9%. So that's what Gate wants to check, whether you know the base or not. So base is always at the beginning value, and beginning value is 1000. Question number 43. A 250 milliliter bottle of mango juice costs $4 in the United States. Okay, $4. If the exchange rate is 0.02 US dollar per rupee, so 1 rupee has actually only 2 cents value, then the cost of the same bottle of mango juice in rupees would be, in rupees, not in India. It says that, well, the same 250 milliliter bottle of mango anywhere in the world. So since the world prices are the same, so we will divide this $4 divided by 0.02 cents. So that way we get 200 rupees, means 4 divided by 0.02, $4, and 1 rupee is equal to 0.02 cents. So we have to divide it, and this becomes our rupees 200. No, don't make the mistake of multiplying, because it asks in rupees. So 1 rupee is equal to 2 cents, 4 cents would be 2 rupees, 10 cents would be 5 rupees. So 100 cents or $1 would be 50 rupees. If $1 is 50 rupees, then $4 is equal to actually 200 rupees. So it wants to test your exchange calculation skill, whether you can calculate the conversion at any given exchange rate. And the last question is question number 44 of this video, and after that I will make another video. So let's see what this question tells about. So this question is, the following table provides population information for different age groups in 2010 and 2017. So here are the age group 2010 to 2017. Okay, so population in 2000 was this much, population in 2017 was this much. So yes, the percentage change in old age dependency ratio from 210 to 2017 is, and round off to two decimal places. Okay, so first we need to calculate what was the dependency ratio in 2010 of old age people. It is here, it is, yeah. So it asks us to calculate the old age dependency ratio. So we will exclude this 0 to 15 years because it is young age dependency ratio. So old age is 65 years and above, these people who don't work. So this is equal to 232 450. So let's calculate in 2010, and I calculated is 2010 dependency ratio is equal to this figure 232 450 divided by the working population, which is equal to 899 210 and times 100, because we have to calculate in percentage, and this gives us 25.85%. So this is the old age dependency ratio. And for 2017, we use the same formula. So instead of this value 23240, we will use 254474. And then divided by this value 847552. And then again multiplied by 100. So this becomes 30.02%. So the dependency ratio, earlier it was 25.85%, and that increased to 30.02%. So what is the percentage change in old dependency ratio? Actually it is 30.02% divided by 25.85% minus 1 and times 100. So it is not very complicated formula. The same way we are calculating any formula that talks about change. So actually it is not that very difficult question. Well, conceptually it can be difficult, but it is not actually that difficult. So I want to write it here. This one is 30.02. So it should be in parenthesis. 30.02 divided by 25.85 and minus 1. So the parenthesis should close here, and then minus 1 and then times 100. So this gives us 16.15%. I hope most of you would have answered it correctly, because I expect as economists you are good in mathematics. Well, GATE may give the answer that 30.02 minus 25.85%, but then which is equal to 4.17%. But that would be wrong, because we see percentage change in the dependency ratio. So ratio was 25.85. How much it has increased? And it has increased by 16.15%. So it can be 16.13, 16.16 because of rounding errors, but that is what it is. I hope you liked my video, and I am sure there is no error in this, because I am a very good economist. Actually, I am rated the best economist of the world when I was working in the United States, and I have recently moved to India. So if you find any difference in your answer and GATE, that what I already told you, we will challenge it. And I hope you all found it logical and simple, as well as this shortest way of calculating. So thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like it and subscribe it. See you for the next part of the question, that will be from 45 to 65. I will post it soon. I have already calculated the answers, so only preparing the video is left. Once again, thank you all. See you.